YouTube reacting to no, what I just okay. To your life as a medieval tour
Born in 14th century Europe into what they call a cursed bloodline.
bloodline.
Not cursed enough to die young, not blessed enough to escape your fate. Just stuck in the middle of nowhere with a destiny even the devil begs to pass on. Your mother spends her days praying for your soul before you even know you need saving. Your father, he's always gone, doing work that makes grown men wet themselves with fear. Then you hit age 2. Congratulations, you've beaten the plague and starvation. But surviving childhood might be the worst thing that ever happens to you. By age 4, you start noticing the whispers. People don't just avoid your house. They make the sign of the cross when they walk past it. Your mother never takes you to the market, never lets you play with other kids. She says it's because of wild animals. You're starting to think the real animals walk on 2 legs and throw rocks at your windows. Then, one day, curiosity kills more than just the cat. You sneak out to the village square and see a crowd gathered around a wooden platform. They're screaming, begging, the smell of blood and fear. And there, holding a strange metal device, is a man in a dark hood. The crowd parts when he walks by, some spitting, others just staring in horror. That's when you see it, your father's face under that hood. That night, you corner him. Your father sits you down, pulls off his gloves. His hands are scarred and stained, and tells you the truth that'll haunt every dream you'll ever have. Your father is a torturer. When someone steals bread, speaks against the Lord, or looks at a priest wrong, they bring him to your father. His job? To hurt them until they confess to things they might not have even done. But wait, it gets worse. See, nobody applies for this job. Nobody wakes up thinking, gee, I'd love to spend my life breaking people's fingers for a living. Which means there's only one way people become torturers.
It's really a bad job, because what if you enjoy it, though? Now, I'm not saying I would. But what if they enjoy it? They're probably having the time of their life then.
They're born into it. Your grandfather was a torturer. His father before him. And his father's father? You guessed it. This isn't just some family business. It's a family curse.
Okay, but then how did the first one of that family even get into it, though? See where I'm going with this?
Guess what? You just inherited it.
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected
Once, maybe becoming a farmer, growing things instead of destroying them, maybe a merchant, traveling to far-off places where nobody knows your name, maybe even a priest, saving souls instead of damning your own. But none of that matters now. The city won't let you do anything else. You're marked, branded, cursed from birth to follow in daddy's bloody footsteps. Age 8, training begins. And by training, I mean learning how to clean up after human suffering. You start by sharpening the tools. Pliers for pulling teeth, screws for crushing thumbs, ropes for the strappado. Each tool has a purpose. Each purpose involves screaming. Before you can touch human flesh, your father tosses you a pile of animal bones. Pig femurs, goat ribs, cow skulls. Break them clean, he commands. Understand how muscles, sinew, and bone react under strain. You spend weeks cracking livestock remains, learning the precise pressure needed to shatter without killing. The stench of rotting meat clings to your clothes as you master this grotesque craft on dead animals first. You learn to oil the rack so it doesn't squeak when it stretches people apart. You clean blood off stone floors until your hands are raw, scrubbing with buckets of vinegar, the only thing that cuts through the overwhelming reek of sweat, feces, blood, and decomposing flesh that clings to dungeon stones. The acidic smell burns your nostrils, but it's better than the alternative stench of human despair. The smell never leaves your clothes. Iron, blood, fear, sweat, and something else you can't name but makes your stomach turn. Your mother tries washing your clothes 3 times, but that smell? It's not coming out, ever. Month 9, your father decides you're ready to watch. A man is brought in, accused of stealing grain during harvest. He's crying, begging, swearing on his mother's grave that he's innocent. Your father doesn't care. Innocent or guilty, your father's job is to make the man confess. That's what the law wants. Confession. Your father starts with the thumb screws, small metal devices that look harmless until they start crushing bone. The man's screams are so loud you think your ears might bleed. You want to look away, but your father's watching you, making sure you don't flinch. This is your future. This is what you'll do every day for the rest of your life. The man confesses after his 3rd finger breaks. He admits to stealing grain he never stole, names people who don't exist, just to make the pain stop. Another successful day at the office. You're 12 now. and the real education
Seen on the Super
begins.
412.
Your father hands you the pliers and points to a prisoner's mouth. Start with the back teeth, he says casually. They're easier to grip. You hesitate. The prisoner looks at you with desperate eyes. Your father's hand lands on your shoulder. Not gentle. Warning. You do it now, or I do it to you later, he whispers. But there's more to fear than just his wrath.
Sorry, buddy.
Cross the
I heard we were
church,
gonna go
harm the
somewhere,
wrong
man.
noble, or let a prisoner die before confession and they'll burn us both alive, he adds grimly. You've heard the stories. Torturers who disobeyed orders or showed unauthorized cruelty found themselves on the same pyres they once prepared for heretics. Your first tooth extraction takes forever. Your hands shake. The prisoner passes out from the pain before you're halfway done. Your father shakes his head. Sloppy work. We'll practice until you get it right. And you do practice, on prisoner after prisoner, until pulling teeth becomes as natural as brushing your own. Age 15 brings anatomy lessons. You learn where to cut for maximum pain without killing. How long someone can hang before their shoulders pop out. How many turns of the rack it takes to make someone beg. You discover that fear is often more effective than pain. Sometimes just showing someone the tools makes them talk. The human imagination fills in all the terrible ideas you don't even have to mention. Your father introduces you to the Iron Maiden, a human-shaped metal sarcophagus bristling with inward-facing spikes. Each spike pierces limbs, shoulders, thighs, never vital organs, he explains, demonstrating on a screaming victim. The art is in prolonged suffering, not swift death. You learn to operate it with surgical precision, knowing exactly which spikes to engage for different types of confessions. By 17, you're ready for the rack, the king of torture devices. A wooden frame that stretches people like clay. Listen to their breathing, your father explains. When it gets ragged, ease off. When they start talking, tighten more. Keep them right on the edge between confessing and dying. Your first solo lesson comes at 18. A woman accused of being a witch because her neighbor's cow died. You start gentle, just showing her the tools. She denies everything. But before you can proceed, you're accused of showing unauthorized mercy. The church demands proof of your divine sanction. You're forced to undergo trial by ordeal, plunging your hand into boiling oil to prove your methods are blessed by God. The searing agony reminds you that even torturers aren't above suspicion. When your wounds heal cleanly, you're deemed worthy to continue. Thumbscrews, still denying. Then you hang her by her arms for an hour. Finally, you mention her children. Shame they had to be questioned too. Kids are so fragile. She confesses within minutes, admits to flying on broomsticks, dancing with the devil, cursing crops. All lies, but effective lies. The crowd that watches her burn cheers your success. You feel sick. Years pass. You get good at your job. Disturbingly good. Your reputation spreads.
Well, shit, you
They
used to be
call
the
you
goat of this.
the bone breaker. You perfect new techniques. Keep detailed notes like any craftsman. Subject lasted 47 minutes before confession. Recommend different approach next time. But success comes with a price. Nobody talks to you except to hire your services. Kids run when they see you coming. Even priests won't let you sit with normal people. You're necessary but unwanted. Useful but unclean. You live alone at the edge of town. Your only companions are screams that echo in your head. You drink heavily, but
how does
alcohol
Dad
doesn't
get a
wash
wife,
away the
then?
memories. Women won't marry you, so you find companionship with someone as hated as you are. A brothel worker who understands what it's like to be society's necessary evil.
never mind.
20 years of torture later, you're the most feared man in 3 counties.
Holy shit, he did
Your
become
name makes
the goat
criminals
of this.
weep. You've extracted thousands of confessions, sent hundreds to their deaths. But comfort is relative when your job is inflicting misery. Every night brings nightmares, faces of people you've broken, voices begging for mercy you couldn't give. You wake up screaming more often than your victims did. Your wife gives birth to twin boys. For the first time in years, you feel hope. Maybe they can escape this
what are you
life.
born to
But
grow
hope
here?
is
You like
luxury
priest?
torturers can't afford. Your hands start shaking at 40. Years of gripping tools takes its toll. One day, you miscalculate. A prisoner dies before confessing. The judge is furious. Your reputation takes a hit. More mistakes follow. Word spreads that the great bone breaker is losing his touch. There's only one solution, and you
Kill
hate it
him.
more than anything.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade.
They're gonna kill him, I'm guessing?
Competition.
You take your eldest son aside on his 13th birthday. This is our family trade, you tell him, watching his face crumble. I didn't choose it. My father didn't choose it, and neither will you. But if you're going to survive, you need to be better than I ever was. He cries, he begs, he tries to run away, but 3 days later, he's back. hungry and defeated. There's nowhere to run. The family curse follows you wherever you go. So you begin his training, just as your father trained you. You see in his eyes the same death of innocence you felt all those years ago. The cycle continues. Your son learns the trade, masters the techniques, earns his own reputation. You retire to a corner of the house, hands too shaky to work. But retirement isn't freedom. It's just a different prison. You listen to screams from below, knowing your son is continuing the family tradition. Every cry reminds you this is your legacy, the curse you pass to another generation. You die at 52, which is old for someone in your profession. Most torturers don't live to see grandchildren. The stress, the drinking, the constant fear of revenge kills them young. But you've been lucky, if you can call any part of this life lucky. But even in your final years, there's no peace. Torturers are feared even in retirement. Villagers believe you're cursed, damned by your bloody trade. When your active service ends, you're quietly exiled to remote regions. Society's way of erasing the shame you represent. Few torturers receive pensions or land. Most are relocated far from civilization, or executed in secret to prevent their dark knowledge from spreading. Your sons bury you in the torturer's corner of the graveyard, far from decent folk, even in death. No priest says prayers over your grave. No mourners come to pay respects. Just your family, carrying on a tradition that's destroyed every generation for centuries. But at least it's over for you. The nightmares stop. The guilt ends. The screams finally fade to silence. You've paid your debt.
My phone's just music mad loud.
Even if it hated you for doing it. Your sons, though, their story is just beginning. And somewhere in town, a 4-year-old boy is starting to wonder why people cross themselves when his family walks by.
That was a good video, man. Comfort woman. What the fuck is a comfort woman?